Hello again. Hopefully you've come here from the other video I showed for having items in Fantasy Grounds for the GURPS rule set. If not, you can check that video out to see the purpose of this video. This is to introduce the Fantasy Grounds GURPS mod maker software. And here I have my dead jester. Mod maker for GURPS Fantasy Grounds. It allows you to create items for use inside Fantasy Grounds with the GURPS rule set. So without further ado, I shall show you what you can do here. So for example, let us say that we want to create some items to use in the GURPS rule set. Let's say for now that we just want, let's just create a melee weapon. And this is going to be a whack-a-mole mallet. And we'll call it we'll say it's a maul. No, an arcade weapon. And the mode of using it is swing. And there's not a weapon strength. As you notice, these columns are kind of color-coded based on what they're going to become. So these are specific to weapons. These kind of red ones, that pinkish red ones that go with the maroon color. The blue is for the armor, and well, tan is for equipment, but you can kind of make equipment out of anything, so you just have to state that it's going to be equipment. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of this in here. The damage on a whack-a-mole is, swing damage based on swing, and it's padded, so we're going to say it's swing -3. You could hurt somebody, but it's going to take a lot. And it's crushing damage type. There's no accuracy to it. There's no throwing of it, so it's not ranged. It's not a rate of fire. Oh, it does have a bulk. Let's just say it's a -3 because they're not easily hit. If you try to swipe one, you get caught most likely. And the reach is 1. No bonus or anything on parry. The minimum strength is not important to this. We'll say it costs 20. The weight is 1 pound. And did we finish that? Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and put a minimum strength on it just because children can use them. So we'll say the minimum strength is 5. And that should do it. All right. Let's also say that we want to create a bow. And I think I mentioned it, but maybe I didn't. You can right click on these items and put in a melee, ranged, whatever. You can type it in if you like, but this kind of saves you a little bit of effort. So a short bow. I don't think anybody wants a sharp bow. That's a bow. And the mode is, I believe they say barbed head. You could call it whatever you wanted, but that's what we're going to put in here. We'll just say an average one is 10. It doesn't matter so much for items that are based upon the weapon strength. It will create that item for every possible strength from the minimum strength up to 20 is the way I built this. I suppose we could talk about doing that differently, but that's what it does now. The damage for a short bow is thrust, and I think that's it. It's impaling. The accuracy on a short bow is 1. The half damage is, I think it's 10, or is it 15? It's 10. Okay, so we're going to say it's strength. Oops. Strength times 10, and the ranged max is strength times 15 is kind of the outer limit. For this, the rate of fire is 1. You get to fire every other round. The bulk on that is -6, I believe. No recoil. And, oh, you know what? I did that wrong. The rate of fire is just 1. Shots is 1 every other round. And no reach, no parry, hopefully. We'll go from 7. We'll say that's as low as we want to go. It costs 50, and they weigh, what are they, 2 pounds? Yeah, 2 pounds. All right, so there's our 2 items for now. And now we've created them here in the raw data tab. If we click over here on convert, it will create not only the whack-a-mole, but also all these bows from 7 through 20. And that's, as I mentioned, because that's the way you would use bows in GURPS Fantasy Grounds. We didn't do any armor or anything. Sometimes you'll get stuff that will kick over into the rejected bucket, and then you can go back to the raw data and mess with it some more and reconvert it. You can sit here and do this all day long. It doesn't matter. When you go to exit or anything, it asks you, do you want to save what you've done, and it will save this information for you so that you can options import it later on from there, like load previous work. Okay, so we're calling this Yule Equipment Shop. Let's just call it let's call it Acme, and we'll put our username here, our author, so that we know who made the mod, and it's going to put it in this directory. I like to put an image on this, so there we go. We'll use that one, and export. Boom. Now it says, you want to navigate to the mod file? Yes, I do in this case, and that'll open it up in my area, my C documents folder. I'm going to copy that, and I will put it in the Fantasy Grounds modules location, paste it in there, and we're ready to try and use it. So I'll close this down. See, here's where it says, do you want to save it? Yes, and it'll save it under this name that you created for it to re-import. So now we go and we open up Fantasy Grounds. In your items, you'll see you have, this was, the butter knife is something that I had created manually inside of Fantasy Grounds. So you got your whack-a-mole mallet, you got all these bows here. You can sort them out by these ranged weapons. You get that. Melee weapons. You saw this in the other video. And so that allows you to open up a character to their inventory and give them a whack-a-mole mallet, which then populates the melee area here with the swinging whack-a-mole mallet and the crummy damage that it does. So that is the whole purpose of the tool. It might be a bit tedious at first to set up your items, but once they're in here, you can use them forever. So that's kind of nice. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.